pipe tobaccos, Old Briar, and Dill's Best, Seno cigarettes, and Encore cigarettes, members of the complete line of tobacco products made by United States Tobacco Company, present Martin Kane, Private Eye, starring Lloyd Nolan.
Good evening, my dear.
Good evening, Miss Damon. Comfort will show you to my office.
Thank you, Miss Seaton.
Do you want to kill him?
But the patient needs another injection.
You've already given him too much, Doctor. I'll speak with you in your office. Julius, take Mr. Damon upstairs. The room at the end of the hall. Be certain you lock his door when you leave. I trust the trip here wasn't too much of an ordeal, Miss Damon?
Another such an ordeal will send me to my grave. My health is delicate, most delicate.
Julius and Dr. Seaton were on time?
Yes, and the servants were out of the house, as you suggested, and my brother Warren was in his room asleep.
Won't you sit down?
Yes, thank you. Mrs. Seaton, was it necessary to give Warren that injection?
Not necessary, Miss Damon, but advisable. Since at our last meeting you stressed the desire for the utmost tact in handling this delicate problem.
Oh, yes. Warren might have caused a scene.
Yes. Well, now, if our special therapy is to have speedy and successful results, I shall have to have a brief history of your brother's illness.
My poor brother was declared mentally incompetent last winter.
You initiated the action?
To prevent him from squandering his fortune. His eccentric philanthropies.
Yes, I quite understand, Miss Damon. But just what is your immediate problem? At our last talk, you mentioned something about a sum of money.
Well, before I had my brother committed, he liquidated some bonds. The bank paid him the money in the form of a certified check payable to cash.
And you wish us to persuade your brother to surrender the check?
Well, he's hidden it somewhere. We've looked every place. I haven't been able to find it.
Well, calm yourself, Miss Damon. You may rely on our special therapy to bring your brother to his senses. Gentle, sympathetic persuasion is all that is needed. Our fee will be $10,000.
$10,000?
Miss Damon, I happen to know that the check you seek is for $100,000.
Martin Kane speaking. Who? I'm sorry, you'll have to talk up. I can't understand. Who? You're going to have to talk louder. I can't... What?
So you see, Miss Damon, our fee is not unreasonable. To achieve the quick results that you wish requires a highly specialized knowledge of abnormal psychology and a vast experience in persuading such a mind as your brother's that its fears and its neuroses are groundless. And now, I shall call a taxi for you. You may rest assured that everything...
Yes? Yes, Mr. Damon. I remember you now from that stock swindle I got you out of about 3 years ago, wasn't it?
Yes. That's why I'm calling you, Mr. Kane. You must help me again. My life is in...
Excuse me. You left his door open. Go upstairs. Lock him in his room. Quick!
Yes. Yes, I understand that much. Your life is in danger. But tell me, where are you phoning from? The seaside what?
No, Mr. Kane. Not seaside. I'm at the Seaton...
Hello. Hello, Damon. Hello! Come on, baby. Hurry it up. Every moment counts. Hello, operator. I just got a long-distance call on this phone. I want you to trace it for me. How do I know it's long distance? Listen, the wire sounded like it ran right through a cement mixer. Baby, this is a matter of life and death. Fine, that's a good girl.
Wait. Don't lock me in. My watch.
Our patient has hidden a certified check for $100,000. He must be persuaded to disclose the whereabouts of that check.
A most interesting example of the organic psychotic reactions caused by the hardening of the arteries in the brain. Mr. Damon's symptoms are classic, my dear, such as impairment of the intellectual functions, emotional instability, hallucinations, acute persecution complex, and so forth and so forth. However, it's hardly a difficult case for a man of my background and experience.
We can do without your clinical analysis, Doctor. Now, will you listen to what I have to say? One serious blunder has already been made. Julius allowed our patient to use the telephone. We may now expect a curious visitor and perhaps even the police. Therefore, you must work quickly. And I am not concerned with the methods, only the results.
Patient has gone into shock. His pulse is very weak.
But he continues to be stubborn. We have accomplished nothing.
Perhaps another injection of insulin, my dear. You know, sometimes in these extreme cases of arteriosclerosis, the patient's memory is revived if he is sufficiently stimulated. I will revive Mr. Damon.
Another injection of insulin would kill him. His heart would never stand it.
But it would be a most interesting experiment.
Your bungling has given us enough trouble in the past, Doctor. When will you learn? Julius, come with me. You stay here, Doctor. Doctor's out. Go away.
Now listen, it isn't the doctor that I want to see, Quinny.
May I be of assistance, sir?
Yes, you may. There's a patient in here, Damon by name, Warren Damon. I want to see him pronto.
Mr. Damon is not receiving visitors, but tomorrow, perhaps?
Now listen, Duchess, I'll give you just 10 seconds to produce Damon. If I don't get action, you'll get trouble.
Just as you wish. Julian? Julian! So, Mr. Martin Kane is a private detective. Very rash of you to make so untimely an arrival, Mr. Kane.
Brother, this rain's enough to waterlog a duck.
Oh, very inclement indeed, Happy. Well, it cuts me to the quick, Captain Burt, to send you and the good sergeant out in this deluge again, but...
But what, McMahon?
But Martin would like you to meet him on Bear Mountain Road in a place called the Seton Rest Home. Very urgent of the sleuth.
No kidding.
Oh, yes, indeed. Verily, I'm telling you the truth.
But Bear Mountain Road is miles and miles from here,
Yeah.
Captain. It's not in our jurisdiction. Besides, in this storm, the roads will be practically impassable.
I'd be very happy to lend you my water wings.
Now, what are we stalling for? I know it's not in my jurisdiction, but we got to get up there if only to save Kane from getting into more trouble. That guy's just crazy enough to walk into a lion's cage with nothing in his hand but his hat.
And his pockets full of raw hamburger.
Watch out for the pocket.
bet $1,000 I'd never be on Bear Mountain Road in this deluge tonight.
Oh, this is rather an overwhelming precipitation, isn't it, Captain?
Captain? Huh. With this ocean we got to go through, I'd rather be the captain of the Queen Mary. The things that Marty Kane can get me into.
Well, you mustn't forget if you were to call upon Mr. Kane, I'm sure he'd come through with the utmost alacrity.
Utmost alacrity. Yes, of course. But there's only one difference. If Marty Kane were making this trip, there'd be a great big full moon, and all the stars would be out.
Chin up, sir. Things could be worse. After all, we are getting there. Why, something terrible might have happened.
What do you mean, might? There's nothing in all this to be so happy about.
Oh, come now, sir. Just think, we could have had a flat tire.
You had to open your big mouth.
My dear, I assure you the patient died of natural causes. His heart failed.
Idiot, I told you not to give him another injection. Now we'll never recover the check. $100,000 almost in our grasp, and you choose to disobey my instructions.
But, my dear, I only did what I deemed necessary under the circumstances.
This is no time for excuses, Doctor. You have just murdered a man. Julius, did you search Mr. Damon's pockets? I might have known. Well, don't just stand there. Go bring his clothes to me. You, Doctor, go to your office. We will talk later about your disregard of my wishes.
Strangler.
Julius!
Julius can't answer for himself right now, Mrs. Seaton. As a matter of fact, I think he's in need of some first aid. Why don't you come in and give it to him? Well, Mrs. Seaton, you coming in?
Julius!
That's 6 shots, Mrs. Annie Oakley, and that's all there is. All you bagged was a punch-drunk gorilla.
Open the door! You hear me? Open the door!
Oh, sorry, no can do. I'm fresh out of straitjackets. Hey,
I feel like a tired old salmon on its last trip upstream. Things could be worse.
Well, every cloud has a silver lining, Captain. I'd say it was fortunate indeed that I took a course in automotive engineering while at Harvard.
Oh, that's why it took you 45 minutes to change that tire.
But Captain, I also
Oh,
think...
come on, we're wasting time.
I but that you'd been sent up to your room. Here you are. I've just seen the javelin through. Better keep your guard up, Doctor. This better half sounds like she's in a bad mood.
Let me out! Let me out!
Yeah, Doc. Yeah, the coroner's been here. Oh, the local authorities, yeah. They took that phony pill pusher and his wife into town. Yeah, sure. Okay, Doc, we'll stand by. That was the psychiatrist in the local police department. He's sending some of their people up here to take charge of this squirrel cage.
Why don't you take charge of some of this? I just raided the icebox.
No, thanks. I've got work to do.
Good.
Sergeant!
Yeah.
Did you find that check yet?
Oh, not yet, sir.
What's the trouble here?
Oh, if Mr. Damon had that $100,000 check when his sister brought him here, Captain, it has vanished in thin air. I searched this room with meticulous care and to absolutely no avail.
Well, all right. I wouldn't worry about it if I were you. I don't think Damon had the check on him anyhow.
Oh?
In spite of the contrary opinion of our friend here.
Oh, is that so? Now listen, Captain, you're riding the wrong horse. You and the sergeant you're going to pass that finish line with the rest of the also-rans.
Meaning exactly what,
Meaning
Kane?
exactly that check is still in this room. You see, Damon had it sewed into the lining of his necktie, but he knew they were going to search his clothes, and so he took the check out of his necktie.
And hid it where?
Well, in this room, as I said.
What have you got there?
Oh, it was among the items in the pockets of Julius, Captain.
How do you open this thing?
What's that?
To Warren with love from his sister. Warren? That could be Warren Damon.
Well, how do you suppose Julius got hold of that?
Well,
money?
how do you suppose, Professor? I guess it never occurred to you to look inside this turnip, did it?
Well, as a matter of fact, no, sir. You see, I was
This
quite...
alarm clock isn't ticking either. I'll bet that check is tucked right inside the works. All right, Marty, let me have your penknife.
Now, look, why spoil a perfectly good timepiece? The check is not inside that watch.
And how do you know that?
Because I know where Damon hid the check.
But, Mr. Kane, I've searched this entire room.
Kane, do you mean to tell me that you've been watching us conduct this treasure hunt, and all the time
Let's not
you...
exaggerate. It was the sergeant that did all the back.
Yes, I know that, and you let him.
Well, all right. He needed the experience.
Oh, your concern for my future is most gratifying, Mr. Kane. But where in the name of the seven demons is that check?
All right, gentlemen, if you will pardon a very bad pun, I will throw a little light on the subject. Here you are. 100 watt bulb with 100 grand in its pocket.
Well, I'll be a ring-tailed baboon.
Good morning, Harvey.
Oh, hiya, Sergeant. Oh, say, I understand that Monty bagged a real bevy of real strange characters last night.
Oh, you can say that again, Hap, and thereby save the lives of a lot of innocent people at that rest home. Yes, sir, both Mrs. Eaton and her so-called doctor husband are being held for murder. You know, those two have quite a record for operating phony rest homes and doing away with the patients at the behest of unscrupulous relatives.
Such as Damon's ever-loving sister, huh?
Uh-huh, precisely. We booked her yesterday. Hey, well, what in the world are you doing, Happy?
I want to see if this light bulb gimmick really works. I might want to stash away a $5 note sometime.
Now, look, why waste a perfectly good light bulb when I've got the one that was originally used?
Oh, there you are, Happy.
Well, my, oh, my, what would Mr. Thomas Edison say if he only knew how they were using his brainchild?
He'd probably say, look, don't try that stunt in your home, Mr. McMahon, or you'll short-circuit your bankroll. Well, folks, I'll meet you here at Haps next week, huh? Good night.
Martin Kane, Private Eye, has been brought to you by the makers of Old Briar, the master mixture of rare flavor and aroma. Dill's Best, flavor cut for extra mildness and cool smoking. Sano Cigarettes, a great cigarette with less than 1% nicotine. And Encore, the better filter tip cigarette for filter-fresh smoking. All members of a complete line of products for every tobacco taste. Tune in the other exciting series of Martin Kane, Private Eye, starring Lloyd Nolan on radio every Sunday afternoon over the NBC radio network.